Hello, my name is Rob, aka Memory Lapse, and welcome to the Definitive Garen video guide. Okay, the purpose of this guide is to completely detail a particular way of playing Garen. This is not the only way to play him per se, but I feel this is an extremely effective and fun way to play him, and it's very consistent. You'll be able to get a lot of wins if you play like this. One of the main concepts of League of Legends is what they call unclear optimization. What this means is that there's no definitive way of saying one build or rune set or mastery package is clearly better than another. They're different bests for different situations. And knowing this, what this leads to is that builds must be customized to a play style rather than to a specific hero or role. And I think this is where a lot of guides make a big mistake by not addressing this. I think in general it's kind of a bad idea to watch most guides, and it might sound strange considering I'm making a guide right here, but most guides are simply loadouts that give little or no information on how to play a hero. You can't just look at an item rune mastery list and expect to know how the hero can be played to its fullest potential. This guide will be a little bit different than most guides. I will discuss in-game theory, and I will give you a detailed plan for how to play Garen through the laning phase, and then we'll talk about the other phases of the game after that. And I will also show you my items and runes and masteries and give you specific information on why I selected what I did and show you how it supports a play style rather than the hero itself. I have hundreds of wins with Garen, way over 300, probably, I don't know exactly how many. Lots. I'm not saying I'm the best Garen player of all time, but I can say confidently that I have enough experience to teach others how to play him effectively and win consistently. And most importantly, you can have some fun with him because he really is a lot of fun to play once you sort of understand what he is and what he isn't. And that's what we're going to start by discussing is what is Garen. Ultimately, he excels as a solo top initiating tank. But don't let the word tank fool you. Garen his kit carries a lot of threat built into it. And some people see how much threat that Garen has, and they try to play him like an AD carry, such as a Yi or a Tryndamere. And I understand why people want to do this, but it's ultimately wrong. It's deceptive. He has so much threat that people want him to be a hard carry because he just comes built with a ton of damage. But the threat is sort of, I would say that the threat is ancillary to his main role as an initiating tank. You're going to get kills once you start becoming more comfortable with Garen. You're going to see that the kills come. It's very easy to get kills with Garen. So you don't have to feel useless or worry about, not impressing people with a poor score, even though you did great. He's a tank, he's an initiator, and he's a finisher. So we're going to talk about how we get there. I think if we take a look at Garen's skills. Okay, so let's start by taking a look at Garen's kit. His first skill, his passive, is Perseverance. This is a regen passive that activates after you've not taken any damage for 7 seconds. So, and this isn't just regular regeneration, and this is one of the most key things that people don't understand about Garen. It's scaling regeneration, meaning that as you get more hit points, it regens more. So essentially every item that you get on him with hit points, you get the for free extra regen built into it. So it encourages you to build hit points for starters. Yet another, this is like the first thing that should clue you into how you want to build Garen, how you want to make him maximize his efficiency. Okay, so you get rewarded for hit points. That's what we need to understand here. This gives him sustain throughout the laning phase, mid-game, late game. It makes it so you don't have to go back. You just walk to a different part of the map. By the time you get there, you're, fully playable. You don't have to worry about being low hit points almost ever. Okay, moving on. That's essentially his passive in a nutshell. All right, moving on to his most critical skill, in my opinion, Decisive Strike. Decisive Strike is everything for Garen. It's his initiation, it's a disable, it's a 3-hit combo, sometimes 4-hit combo. We'll see that a little bit later, what I'm talking about. Its move speed is amazing. With the build that I show you, you'll be starting out at level 1, and when you click Decisive Strike, you'll have 431 move speed. So essentially, this lets you get at people. You're going to be able to close the gap with this skill. And, oh, by the way, it's also his main escape skill as well, too. So it's his main damage, his main approach, and his main escape, all in one skill. Oh, and it disables as well with its silence, which is a nice long duration on it. So, moving on. Courage. Fantastic skill. Recently got a buff. It now will apply the full 25 armor and magic resist at level 1. Previously, you had to get it all the way to level 5 to get the full effect. So this will be leveled second. Decisive Strike is leveled first and maxed first. Courage is leveled 1 point at level 2 and maxed last. Every level after level 1, it helps. It reduces the cooldown and the damage, and it increases the damage reduction, which is great, but not necessary right away. So that's why we leave it to last. Okay, next skill, Judgment, spin to win. I hate when people say spin to win because it implies that Garen's main feature is his spin. It might be his flashiest feature, but it's in no means his most useful. Spin does very, very little damage. Even at max level, its damage is fairly low. Its main feature in low levels in the laning phase is its Ghost Walk, actually. So you will level this at level 4, and you will max it second by level 13, but its main feature during the laning phase, you're going to use it for damage a little bit, yeah, sure, in certain scenarios, but mainly as a Ghost Walk. So in combination with the movement speed from Decisive Strike, you can get through. You can get through minion waves to get at people, or you can get through things to get away from people. So this is it's your secondary movement skill. And it also has pretty good range, actually, for the damage that it puts out. It deals pathetic damage to minions, so don't expect this thing to farm for you. In fact, you're probably not going to use any of your skills to farm, really. I mean, you're not going to use Decisive Strike, I should say, once you see the runes that I'm going to lead you with. But in any case, it has good range. It does moderate damage per second to heroes. It's not nothing, and it's kind of nice because you can use it to like sort of get in front of them because of the Ghost Walk and keep them in range, and you don't have to worry about any auto attacking animations. So that's kind of a cool feature of it. But in any case, moving on. Demacian Justice, one of the most fun alts in the game to use. It's right up there with Cho'Gath's Feast as one of the most satisfying alts to kill people with. You should note that it does not scale with either AP or attack damage. And that's another critical thing here. So we have his Decisive Strike, which does scale with attack damage. Judgment also scales with attack damage and Critical Strike. It's the only skill that I know of in the game that will increase its damage based on your critical strike percent chance. So that's kind of an interesting feature. But you have two skills here that scale off attack damage. One pure defensive skill and one skill that scales off of neither. So this is why I think people, because two of his skills scale off attack damage, this is why people want to build him like a hard carry, with infinity edges and all kinds of other ghost blades and things along this that turn him into some kind of an auto attacker. But you notice none of his skills are a steroid spell. He doesn't have any kind of you know, Master Yi alt or something that'll increase his attack speed. In fact, he gets no advantage from attack speed at all. So you should keep that in mind when you're if you're one of those people that likes to try and play him as a hard carry. Understand that you're going against the grain. He doesn't get advantage. He doesn't rewarded for attack speed. He's rewarded for base damage and hit points. So that's how we're going to take a look at building him. All right, so we're going to move on here directly to our runes. All right, and it's very, very simple. It's a full page of flat damage runes. This gives you plus 22 physical damage. The only option that I would even consider other than this, and I really wouldn't consider it, would be a full page of scaling damage per level runes. But I really wouldn't consider it because it doesn't support the playstyle that we're going to be using. And the playstyle that we're going to be using is he's a lane bully. And we're going to exploit his movement speed, his unparalleled movement speed, to harass and bully people out of lanes, keep them off of their gold, and keep them off of experience. So, and we're going to exploit that as much as we can because it turns into a huge advantage for your team once you hit mid-game. So, flat damage, full page, and you'll see this in action. This 22 damage might not look like a ton right here, but it starts you out with 82 in-game damage at level 1. And when you couple that with Decisive Strike with a 3 to 4 hit combo, yeah, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Okay, Masteries. What do I use? For Garen, I use 30 points in defense. 0, 30, 0. So we've touched on everything here in the defensive tree except for Evasion and the bonus gold for assists. I don't feel like that's necessary, either of those two. I think Evasion's kind of underpowered. 3% ability power, or 3% damage reduction from AoEs. Nah. For 3 points, I can find better stuff in here. So essentially everything other than that, including the summoner spells for defensive. So that's going to be our heal right there. All right, so pretty simple, but what will these two things together do for us? So we have a fully offensive rune page and a fully defensive mastery page. This means at level 1, we're going to deal a ton of damage and be almost impossible to push out of a lane because the defensive masteries, especially early game, give you outstanding sustain. So that's essentially our that's just to get you started. But as you see, you're going to take a look at the laning phase here. You're going to see what I mean by being a lane bully. So if you want to be a lane bully, what you have to do is you have to be very aggressive, and you have to understand how to abuse the bushes and how to position yourself to use Decisive Strike to push them away, keep them terrified of you, because they can't respond. You run up to them, you hit them once, you Decisive Strike, you hit them again, they can't respond, and you run away from it because the foot speed, the movement speed bonus lets you just walk away from it, and they can't respond, and it costs you no mana. And then in the meantime, your 22 physical damage rune page will allow you to have extremely long range for last hits. This means that you're going to get last hits very, very easily. You don't have to worry about farming. You don't have to worry about using your skills to get gold. You're going to get them just fine with just this rune page here. So let's take a look at how this package, this rune mastery set, works in an actual game, in a laning phase. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at a sample Garen laning phase. So here we go. Start out, buy your boots, buy your 3 pots quickly, as fast as you can. Use your level your Q and use it, and head out immediately to the forwardmost position in the bush, which is right here. For this particular, for purple side is here. Obviously, it's the other bushes for if you're blue. But the idea is you get out here fast, and if you use with boots and your Q, you can get there faster than anyone else can if they're coming up right away. So you get there first, and you have tactical position. You have a great tactical position and an advantage over whoever you're laning against. So we'll start. That's how you start off, and we'll see where it goes from there. Okay, so you get to this position, and you sit there and you wait for them. And what you're going to want to do now is, if they face check, which a lot of times they do, you're going to want to hit them once, auto attack them once, immediately use decisive strike, then hit them again. So let's take a look as Scion wants to come over here and face check a bush. So take a look at the slow motion here. There he is, auto attack range, hit him once. Immediately to decisive strike, which resets your attack timer, hit him again. So there's his 3-hit combo. And by the way, you've got movement speed still, so you can go down. And I hit him for a 3rd time. So there's a 4-hit combo that he cannot respond to. I took off half of his hit points with 1 skill. It cost me nothing at all. Now I go back to lane, go ahead and start getting my last hits. You have all that damage from your runes. So you have no problem getting all kinds of last hits, and go right back into it. And hit him once, try and get at least 2 hits out of it in a situation like that. If you can only get the decisive strike and run away, depending on who you're facing, that's fine. But now look, he's gone. You just bullied him out of your lane at level 1, and you have free reign to free farm. He's getting nothing here. So this is already, for those of you who are experts at laning solo or laning top, you know that this is already a 1 lane. Okay, so once Scion returns to the lane, we just continue to press our advantage. I get all the last hits I can. I've got a nice gold advantage. But here's something you should be aware of. Yeah, I get ganked by Warwick, but it's no big deal. He pops his ghost to get at me. My defensive masteries pretty much make me laugh at this. I use my heal because he used his ghosts. I like to trade summoner spells like that usually. Probably didn't need it. Probably would have been okay with the pots alone. But, no problem. I just walk away from the gank and continue his business as usual. Okay, so now my primary goal is lane control. And what I mean by lane control is you got to keep the minions where they're safe for you to farm and safe for you to you're not going to get ganked by their jungler. Essentially near close to your tower. It's pretty obvious, but doing it is sometimes a little hard because it means you have to give up some last hits. You have to go for him, obviously, as you see here. Get some harass in on him that he can't respond to. His mana bar is almost gone. He's gonna blow the rest of his mana here and push the wave more. So I let him do that, no problem. I use another one of my pots. I still have another one after this. He used one, so no problem. Try to only attack things, even if you could last hit it, if it's alive and not being attacked, let it stay. Like, let it be alive. So, you see I could get some of these, caster minions here, but I let them live so that the lane pushes. Now, this area right here, this is your safe zone. This is where you want to be. This is where you farm. You can hit, feel free to auto attack in this area here as long as the wave is continually pushing towards you. You don't have to worry about minion damage too much. And every last hit gives you more armor and magic resist. So, you become tanky just by getting gold, which is great. So you see, I don't let the minions go to the turret here. I try to push it off as long as possible. And then last hit under the turret if I can. Should be able to get these 2 here. No, actually, I think I'm fail miss both. Yeah, see, that'll happen sometimes. You try to hit one, it misses, and it makes you deny yourself the gold for the second one. That's okay. I'm still in my ideal range here. My junglers starting to see that I'm able to keep Scion consistently right in front of my tower. And that's a big challenge. That's lane control. You want to be able to farm, and you want to be able to position the minion creeps so that they're in a bad... the minions are on your side. So There's Lee down there. He's getting ready. He's got red, so he's ready to gank. Here comes Scion. No problem. He hits me, and now it's time. Silence, spin. The spin, again, Ghost Walk is what I really needed to do. I wanted to get in front of him. Hitting him, no problem. Lee, for some reason here, goes back to a minion, but that's okay. I'm Garen. I'm about to, Demasi and Justice him. So as you can see, it's a pretty good setup. I was fast enough, even with just regular boots, to keep up with Scion with the decisive strike, and we did enough to get the nice first blood there. So now you can see that this lane is essentially completely won. I've got 1,500 gold at 7 minutes. You know, obviously I had a first blood in there. Not bad. That's right on pace. This is on pace for a 17-minute or so Warmogs, maybe even sooner. So this is a one lane, and now we're going to take a look at maybe some other things in some other videos. Okay, so now we're going to take a look quickly at the build, and we'll get into the justification for this build once we get into the clips. All right. So here is your starting items. Here's your starting package. You're going to start off with Boots of Speed and 3 health potions. Unless you're jungling, which is a whole nother guide, I really wouldn't do anything but this. The Boots of Speed is what gives you your ability to poke. You don't need regeneration, you don't need armor, you don't need health. The only thing you need at level 1 is the boots, because this will let you get at people and start your whole aggressive gameplay, lane bully mentality. It all hinges around the boots. And 3 health potions, which a lot of times you won't even need with Garen's passive. You know, these are just let you be reckless almost in your bullying. You don't care. You use these, burn these all you want. You've always got your passive. And the summoner spells that I recommend are heal and teleport. So you're going to have all kinds of sustain, and this lets you be reckless and lets you trade even unfavorably, like as long as you deal damage. Even an unfavorable trade works to your advantage because you regen faster than they do by far. Okay, so these are our starting items here, and this is the core. So as you can see, Boots of Swiftness. No other boots are even come close to this. You want the movement speed 3 because our whole game hinges and centers around movement speed. Okay. Try that again. Okay, so here's the starting items. And this is our core, our 4 core items that you'll get almost every single game. Boots of Swiftness. There's no other boots that will fit into Garen's playstyle. Our whole game hinges upon and centers around our unparalleled movement speed. This is what lets us get in, silence people, start a fight, and get out. And you'll get these during the laning phase, so you're going to be abusing his foot speed with his decisive strike quite a bit. Once you hit level 9, the decisive strike cooldown is very low, and it almost is refreshed right after the foot speed buff is gone. Just about, a few seconds to wait. But you're going to be harassing and bullying people left and right. Nobody's going to they'll be terrified of you, and they can't get to their gold or their experience, and they can't respond to you at all. Warmogs, by far the best starting item, first non-boot item to get for him. I would complete your Boots of Swiftness. It only takes 650 if you start with boots, which you should be. So 650, your first 650 goes to Boots of Swiftness. The next 3,000 goes directly into Warmogs. Feel free to go back and forth, use your teleport, use and abuse that. That just makes you makes you even more of a lane bully. It also gives you range across the map to help in team fights where necessary. But Warmogs, as we talked about before, Garen is rewarded for hit points, and this is the best single hit point in the game. It also comes with some built-in regen, which adds nicely to his basic regen. So yes, and also remember your courage, which adds natural armor and magic resist, encourages you to buy hit points because hit points are kind of um, it doesn't give you as much effective hit points without the armor and magic resist. So yet another reason to go ahead and build straight hit points for Garen. The third item, a lot of people want to get this first before the Warmogs. I don't recommend it. I recommend getting the Warmogs first because that basically makes you an immovable object. And the Atma's Impaler is really the only pure offensive item that he needs. It gives him, it further rewards him for hit points, turning all hit point items into extra damage. And it gives him some nice armor and critical strike too. So if you see these three items here, they synergize extremely well with all of his skills. Critical strike adds up to your adds damage to your spin. Armor makes your hit points more effective, and the foot speed makes you able to get in and out and do your job for initiating and live through just about everything because they can't chase you. Next item, Sunfire Cape. Health, armor, AoE damage. It's like adding another level onto your spin. So if you consider like both of these to each add, an extra level of damage onto your spin, it helps the spin scale and stay relevant. And this is the core that you'll get most games and you'll dominate with. If the game starts going long, this is what you'll get into. You're going to get a lot of gold, and I complete this build quite often, at least to the Frozen Mallet. The Mallet I almost always get. If a game goes 45 minutes or so, you're going to get the Mallet and maybe some parts of this. And this is the final product, and let's just take a look at this real quick. 15,721 effective physical health. That means if somebody is dealing physical damage to you, they have to deal 15,000 to kill you. So, you can see what I mean by he's a tank, but he's also scary because he's got this doesn't add in the bonus damage for stacking the Warmogs, but it's about 260 or so, 270. I think when I throw on the elixir at the very end, I get it just about to 300 or so. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong stat. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at the damage. 248, and with once the Warmogs gets all the way stacked up, I think it's 261 altogether. Very nice, especially when you're doing 3-hit combos with your decisive strike. Your decisive strike can hit for about 500-ish with this damage here. It hits for almost 500 plus your regular attacks on top of that, plus then you spin. And you finish them off with Demacian Justice. So this is how the build fits into the playstyle of an initiating tank. So now that we've gone over the build, we've gotten all the dirty stuff out of the way, let's get right into the guide itself. And we're going to go over some laning phase clips. So here we go. Okay, so here's a clip of me lane bullying Riven, who is a very popular top. She's a great top. I love Riven, but Garen is, in my opinion, a hard counter to her. So I couldn't get her to face check the bushes. I waited for a bit, but she's not completely stupid. So that's okay. I'm just going to start right away. Probably don't need the slow motion here, but I recorded it anyway. Coming in at Riven with Decisive Strike. So just come in to hit her. She starts doing her Q, her triple Q, but with the silence, you notice she can't complete it. So I essentially countered her skill there. So it looks kind of like an even trade for a second there. I only hit her once with a decisive strike, no follow-up attacks. So let's take a look at, there's 1 hit, 2 hits, 3-hit combo for me. That's my 3-hit combo to answer Riven's 3-hit combo. So if you notice now, it's it's only see, she's terrified of me, and I've only been laning with her for 20 seconds, and she's already scared of me. So Yeah, this is how it starts. This is how you lane bully. You just come at them with this setup, and it's very easy with the runes and masteries that we have here. Okay, so we've kind of got her on the ropes here. She comes at me. I respond with a decisive strike and a hit. Now look at the difference in our hit point bars. You know, two comparable heroes, two solo tops, and she's completely lost. Really, I mean, my lane is pushed here, so I got to be careful. But it's still early enough in the game that I'm not really worried about a gank at this point. Even if they come at me right now, it's no big deal. I'll go at the tower a little bit, hit her again. I can take a tower hit, no big deal. She's almost dead. She can't even really farm those minions because the minions will kill her. So things are going very well, as you can see. She's gonna have to back at this point. If I go in, it's too dangerous here to go in and try and tower dive. If I was a little bit higher level, I definitely would be tower diving her right now. That's another aspect of this build. You're going to tower dive a lot and ignore towers. So yeah, now I'm going to try and get the lane to come push my way because she's got 3 extra caster minions that I will allow to live. And then you go back into the same sort of scenario as we saw with Scions. You let the minions push you, and that's it. That's how you lane bully. Okay, now in this clip, the enemy jungler is Shyvana, so we know she's going to start at red, so we decide to jack her blue. And I have no problem helping out with level 1 team fights because of my summoner spell choices. I've got teleport, which can just get me back no problem. So let our jacks get the blue, no problem. I just come down here, teleport top. And I wanted to show you this particular clip because this team sent an AP top. And you'll notice how great Garen is against AP heroes here. So I just go in the bushes. He's got no clue what he's in store for. Decisive strike. He can't run. I'm too fast. So I farm up. And it's going to be a lot of that right there. It's pretty much you can see. I'm going to farm up my minions to catch up on gold real quick here. And you'll notice this same thing with just about any AP. That's why I go mid with Garen a lot of times to counter an enemy LeBlanc or somebody like that if we've got a nice AP that can't deal with them. So I have no problem taking on any AP really. So let's just take a look here and see what happens. He's silencing me, no problem. I go in the. You can always go in the bush to cancel out any minion aggro you have, and you're going to want to abuse that as much as possible. Garen loves the bush. It's like sort of a cliche with Garen to go in the bush, but it's no problem. So, yep, silence him, run away from it. He can't respond. He can't respond to that at all. I pop a pot here because I have them, and why not? There, you should feel free to use these things as much as you can. Alrighty, his wave is pushing me nice. I don't have to worry about their enemy jungler coming at me. Hit him once, hit him again. Clear the minion aggro with the bushes. Nice of Kate to get first blood. Yeah, he can't really come approach his minions without dealing with my decisive strike, as you see there. He tried to drain me, but he couldn't. Now you see he's draining me. I heal. No prob. He flashes. I got a lot of minion aggro here, so I can't go in yet for that kill. But he should go back here. He chooses not to. Decisive strikes up. First blood. And look at the boots. I just walk away from it. Even with the flash, she can't keep up with me. She just right out of auto attack range. I just kite her right back. And she's level 1. So, easy first blood. Garen has no problem. Even being reckless. I was kind of almost a little reckless there. But it's an AP, so I didn't care too much. There's Jax. And now here comes Jax. We're going to try and pick up this kill on Shyvana. He stuns her. Spin actually picks up the kill here, which is nice. So easy 2-0. And this is a nice, easy lane win here for us. And notice the minions are still on my side. So that's basically it. That's all the clips I want to show for you to show you how to lane bully. You guys can figure out most of the rest on your own. And thanks for watching.